Welcome back to News Goblins, a weekly nerd news podcast that covers nerd news and other nerdiness for nerds by nerds. I'm one of your nerds, Leslie.
And I'm Jared. You wrote a new introduction.
I did! Do you like it?
Yeah, I do like it.
Okay, good.
I'm going to do an introduction thing. I'm going to do Jared's Cuss Word Corner. And this week, we're doing my favorite slang for masturbation. Mine is beat off, I think, because it sounds like you're fighting your own genitals. What's yours?
Anyway, quick updates for this week. Hayao Miyazaki revealed the title of his next feature film. In February, he announced his retirement, but he's back because he's always back. Mm-hmm. And the next film is How Do You Live, which is from a novel of the same name. But the movie is going to be about how that particular book prominently featured in the protagonist's life. And that is all that we know. And we also know that we have to wait 3 years for the movie.
We also know that there will be a twee main character, and that character will be lovingly animated cleaning something.
Yes, that is true. They will find themselves by cleaning something and having another character talk to them about life.
And also there'll be food. A lot
beautifully rendered, gorgeous food.
And probably some sort of uplifting soundtrack and a large...
Now, hold on. We're also talking about the man who did Grave of the Fireflies.
Oh, that's true. Okay, well, there'll be at least one panning shot over a huge vista of some kind.
Yes, that is definitely true.
Okay. All right. Well, that's awesome.
And that's the beginning and end of what we know about his next film.
Has he already announced his retirement after this film comes out?
I assume. He's never going to retire, ever. No. Which is good. I'm glad, personally. He can stay forever.
He's trapped in a terrible purgatory of successful animation.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, that's great.
He's kind of my hero. So, next, we just got back from Thor Ragnarok.
We totally did. I have to admit, I saw it when it came out at midnight. Leslie was responsible and had to go to work the next day, but I had the day off, so I went and saw it, and it was so painful not to tell Leslie anything about it until she was able to see it. Oh
my God. I would like to personally thank Marvel for making a movie specifically for me.
Yeah.
Like, it's a neon electric adventure in space with women warriors flying around on Pegasi and dark magic. I mean, thank you. This may be one of my favorite movies, just period. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely my favorite in the Marvel universe, but it might just be one of my favorite movies now. I want to go see it again right now. We just got home, and I want to go see it again.
Yeah, I mean, I love movies that commit to insanity and then somehow make it work. I mean, you have a soundtrack for Ragnarok by Mark Mothersbaugh of Devo fame. I mean, you've got crazy synthesizer music.
They just straight up played the Immigrant Song twice.
Yeah, so you throw in some Led Zeppelin. You've got, your classic Thor, Renaissance fair, quasi-medieval Viking stuff.
Yeah.
And then they throw in, space crazy people.
And audience, don't worry, we're not going to spoil anything.
No.
This is all stuff you can see in the trailers. I'm just saying, you might see the trailers and be like, I don't know. Can they pull this off? Or my worry, actually, was okay, this looks insane, but I'm sure they're going to drop it. They're going to do it for a little bit, and then they're going to, get sick of it and go back to the, comic strip feeling that they have for the other movies.
Yeah. I'm not sure that the movie wasn't made just for Jeff Goldblum.
It might have. I feel like he definitely inspired it deeply.
Yeah, he really laid on the Goldblum in this in a way that was wonderful.
Can I talk about, I can talk about thematic things without spoiling anything.
I think we can pull that off.
This was the first Marvel movie for me that successfully talked about two different things. One was it successfully made me care about the collateral damage,
which
Ultron really, really, really wanted to do and just straight up didn't, because it did it by being like, by talking about numbers. Like, oh, millions, all this money and sadness. It just failed to make me actually care.
Right.
So this made me care about the collateral damage. And it made me believe that there was long-lasting personal damage to the characters. And that was significant and that I should care about it. Which, again, I feel is something that, like, Winter Soldier tried to do and kind of did. Like, it did it successfully, but not as successfully as this film did. Like, I cared about everybody's trauma.
Yeah.
It was a shiny, beautiful, sparkly movie about trauma.
Yeah, it's kind of your classic of a movie that really captures sadness through the juxtaposition of silliness.
Yes.
Which really, it hits those peaks and valleys of the exuberant, colorful, silly scene, and then the sincere, well-acted, morose scene. And there are ways that can fall flat and sort of numb you to both emotions, but I think this movie really pulled it off.
It really did. And the fun scenes were incredibly fun.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Sad scenes. I mean, I teared up once. It was just a good movie. It was so good.
I mean, I know we just said serious things about it, but it also, I think it's gotten away from a mistake I feel like Marvel has made lately of really taking itself too seriously.
Oh, yes. And let's not even start on Batman, Superman taking itself seriously.
Yeah, that's not part of this.
Oh,
discussion.
my God. Yeah.
I loved it. I would go back and see it again a third time.
My only critique, and I'm going to say, audience, you may not want to... I mean, it was beautiful in 3D, but you might not want to see it in 3D just because I don't feel like they really thought it through sometimes. And one of the things they did really wrong is that they did not ease you into the 3D. It's just like 100% from the word go.
Yeah.
And we're back because we had to go comfort our tiny dog who didn't understand why we had closed the door.
Yeah, he gets really sad when we podcast because we're having fun without him.
He needs to be next to me or sitting on my lap or following me around at all times or he's dying.
Yeah, he's a pug chihuahua mix named Oscar.
Yeah, and I love him. Anyway, so you should go see Thor Ragnarok because it's a gosh darn delight. Shall we move on to the next thing?
Yeah, let me add, though, that movies like this, though, have been ruined for me in the past with too much hype. So,
adjust your
just go in with an open mind to a fun comic book experience.
Yeah, I think you're very safe going into this movie expecting to have fun.
Yes, yeah, fun movie.
Fun movie.
Go have fun. Don't you want to have fun?
Yeah, just have fun.
Have fun for an hour.
God, chill out.
All right, I forgive you.
Okay.
What's next?
Next, Overwatch has a new hero.
Go on.
We knew it was coming, and most people thought it would be a healer.
I didn't know it was coming.
Oh, well, I mean,
those people who were paying attention to this.
No, they just introduce a healer every, they introduce a character every 6 months.
Oh, cool.
I mean, it just was time.
Okay, so who is this character?
This character is Moira.
Moira. If you could change your fate.
Yeah, there it is.
Would you?
Okay. She's a Talon operative. Those are the bad guys. You're making your confused
Reaper?
face.
Okay.
Reaper. Yes, actually, her animation that they used to introduce her answers an old question, which is, what the hell happened to Reaper? And what happened to Reaper was Moira. There's a lot of theories out there that it was Mercy, because the technology seems very similar to Tracer / Mercy's. There's a bunch of theories.
I thought we knew what happened to Reaper. I thought he was a guy who got trapped inside a Hot Topic when it burned down, and the smoke was coalesced into a suit made out of sewn together trench coats.
Yeah, exactly. But now we know Moira set the fire.
Oh my God.
Now, there is a theory that Mercy tried to resurrect Reaper using Tracer's technology and didn't quite get it right, and that Reaper was like trapped in time, and that's why he throws both guns down and then immediately has new guns.
Okay.
But from the animation, it looks like Moira experimented on him.
So we're debunking the Mercy theory?
I guess. I mean, it really looks like Moira experimented on Reaper as a very willing subject.
Could Moira end up being Mercy's like edgelord, Jekyll and Hyde alter ego?
I mean, they're not in the animation together. But
there we go.
I assume at some point they'll be fighting each other, so we can't rule it out, I guess, is what I'm...
Time is wibbly wobbly in the Overwatch world.
That is... Well, I thought that was true, but then I found out that the reason I thought that was true was because I thought Mercy was like 20. And she is in fact 34, which means that she was like 18 or something. Like, she's real young when she was in Overwatch.
When the Hot Topic fire happened?
Yes, during the Hot Topic fire, she was very young, but apparently was already a doctor.
Huh.
So, like, I did the math at one point. It's like she would have to have started her doctorate at like 17, which isn't, like, it could happen that she was a doctor and already, according to her backstory, she was already at a hospital for a while, and that was why Overwatch brought her in. So, yes, if she did nothing but go to school and work from the moment she was born, she could be 34.
She was just a magic flying doctor with a healing stick.
Well, it's technology.
Oh, okay.
That's
right.
That's a magic technology thing.
Okay, so I promise I will stop interrupting you. So
No,
what is Moira?
Moira can teleport, which is cool and very Reaper-y.
Very Nightcrawlery.
She can heal at close and long range, and then she has an energy beam that deals damage. And from the description, it sounds like the energy beam might be kind of similar to, the energy beam might be kind of similar to Mercy's, and that her other damage might be kind of similar to Symmetra's, like her like pew pew gun. And then the teleport is kind of Reaper-y.
Okay, but so you're probably going to have to switch between damage and healing, or is it going to be more like, what's her name, healing grandma sniper? Anna, where you just shoot like crazy and anybody you hit will either hurt or heal?
It seems like it's going to be a little bit more like Mercy. Like, you have your damage and you got your healing and you can switch it up. But it sounds like she's gonna be a serious damage character too. So it'll be really interesting where the community falls on what she should be doing when.
Huh.
Because that's what's kind of going to determine is, when you play her, what are the expectations of your team?
I like the idea of a healer that also damages through healing just by choosing exactly what they do. Like maybe she'll heal your butthole closed if she's mad at you. Or just like you're Soldier 76 and you're fighting and all of a sudden your left nostril heals closed.
That is not where I thought you were going with that.
Oh.
And now I'm...
Look, when in doubt, assume I'm about to say something about a butthole.
Okay. Well, I'm sad that we're here now, that we're here.
But here we are. This is where we live, so get comfortable.
Okay, great, cool. She's also very pointy. I appreciate that. I mean, aesthetically.
What do you mean?
Like, aesthetically. She's very pointy.
She's an edgelord?
She is an edgelord. She is. She's the Lord of Edges. Anyway, I'm very excited, and I feel like she's going to be my new fave.
Okay, cool. Why?
Because I like characters who do a lot. I like getting good at characters that require a lot of switching around. I mean, I love Symmetra. I mean, my mains are Symmetra.
Okay, but you judge me so hard when I play Reaper that if you walk in while I'm playing Reaper, I will turn it to porn to be less ashamed.
Yeah.
So
I think the audience would agree that that's fair.
How do you get to play an edgelord character then all of a sudden?
But she's like a cool edgelord. Yeah.
Death comes.
Yeah, she's like the actual rock star to Reaper's Hot Topic. That's what's up.
How dare you?
Anyway, this is how you have to have a relationship around video games, guys. This is you have to there's some give and take. There's some gentle ribbing.
Rebuke.
Yes.
Well, the truth is, Overwatch being an exception, you and I don't usually like the same kinds of video games.
That's very true. Yeah.
I think I play video games in a way that is very about my own personal experience and setting sort of imaginary goals for myself. I don't usually like multiplayer games. I like to sort of lose days and days and days in Skyrim or Fallout, building my house just right and things like that.
It is occasionally difficult to watch you play because you'll be like, no, I'm collecting 3,000 blue mushrooms.
Yeah. You're like, go kill something. And I'll say, no, I have to get this fence perfect for no reason.
Yeah, which means I need 600 nails. And to get the nails, I need these mushrooms. So shush.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Leslie is a lot more...
I'm very competitive.
Yes, that.
I'm maybe a little bit unhealthy.
See, I play video games to get away from other real human beings, so it always strikes me as very odd to want to play video games with strangers. I play video games
to destroy them.
Ah.
Yes, that's the difference between us.
Okay, that makes a little more sense.
Yeah, I need to crush their hopes.
Oh, can I mention a video game thing that I'm excited about?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, back in the day, in the before times, in the ancient days before written history, I think it was 2005, there was a game called Shadow of the Colossus that came out for PlayStation 2. That video game and my friend Aaron made me buy a PlayStation 2 just because I wanted to play it so much. And basically, I heard the game called basically a video game version of a doom metal album because it was vast and empty, and you were riding around a ruined landscape, and you have to kill these giant mythical monsters. And I think it ties into what we were just saying. This is the ultimate solo experience. It's a moody solo experience where you have to find the trick to killing these giants. And the scale of the game is so epic because you're this tiny little speck with a sword and you're trying to fight these mountainous monsters. So I bring it up because apparently they're doing a remake of the game for PlayStation 4.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I know you and I think we're getting a PlayStation 4 for Christmas.
Well, we're giving each other a PlayStation 4 for Christmas.
Right, yes. So I'm very happy about the timing of hearing about this because this was one of my favorite games in the early 2000s.
That's great. I played it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was not as into it as literally everyone else who was into it.
Yeah.
Because it is beautiful. It's a beautiful game.
It's beautiful and it's kind of eerie in a way that some of the best games are.
Do you know if they are just updating the original graphics or are they going to remake the whole thing?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I'll be a little disappointed if they just update the original graphics, but at the same time, it's going to be a risk if they remake it.
Yeah.
Remember how excited I was that they were remaking Thief and how it turned out to be a burning
Thief
garbage fire?
was so bad. It was so bad.
Yeah. Now that was a moody solo game that I loved from the early 2000s, and they tried to do a new version of it, and it was terrible.
Well, but it's got to come down to writing, and what was bad with Thief was the writing.
And the gameplay.
Well, okay. What made it unplayable for me personally was the writing. I could have gotten around that. The gameplay was it was very point and click. It was very like mash X. I could have gotten around that if the writing had been.
See, for me, I only cared about the gameplay. I don't remember the writing in the original Thief being that great, but the gameplay was so wonderful. I mean, you would literally sit still in a corner for 5 minutes with your eyes half closed, listening for footsteps. That was the experience of the original Thief. Wow, we got way off topic here. But
if they had let me murder that one character in the beginning of the game, I probably would have played the whole thing.
Your plucky female friend?
Yeah, the person who I was supposed to be attracted to. All I wanted to do was push her off a rooftop go.
She was a nightmare.
Oh, she was awful. Anyway.
Do you have another thing?
I do. I have a bunch of things.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I also have a thing, but why don't you do another thing?
My thing is actually also your thing. It's November.
My thing is your thing. Your thing is my thing. Okay.
That was beautiful. It's November, which means it's National Novel Writing Month. Woo!
NaNoWriMo.
And Jared and I are actually doing NaNoWriMo this month.
Yeah, we were such buttholes about it in the past.
Oh my God, I would like to apologize to everybody. I shit on it so much.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh no, wait, I see why this is good.
Yeah, we have a tendency to screw up and be pretentious writers sometimes, but...
Here's the thing. As I get older, or rather, the older I get, the less pretentious I get, and the happier I am because of it.
Yeah, true. Me too.
So let those just be words of wisdom to everyone. Like, it is just not worth it to hold on to pretensions. Just, if everybody loves something, there might be a reason for that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of David Foster Wallace, but, don't let enjoying that ruin the Dresden Files for you.
And I feel like I was really against NaNoWriMo because I was one of those people who was against a band because of its fans.
Right.
Like, it got on my nerves because I write every day. I've written every day since I was, 13.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there were a bunch of people who were like, I'm gonna write a novel, blah, 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 and then I'm just gonna send it off and I'm gonna be a professional writer. And I got mad at them.
Bunch of Johnny-come-latelys.
Like, I'm working on this every day. Get in line.
Having fun with words like assholes.
I know. Like, loving writing. Disgusting. Writing is my thing.
Well,
I liked this band first.
We're allowed to get older and be more self-reflective, I think.
I was wrong. And I was very wrong.
Sorry, world.
But I will say, those of you who are doing NaNoWriMo, please forgive yourselves if you don't make your word count.
Already done.
Good job. But this should be an exercise that it's like a writing cleanse. This is your writing cleanse. It doesn't, you don't have to do like the whole cucumber water level of the writing cleanse. You just have to get the words out there. You just have to continue to work on it. You have to push towards the goal. It's a writing exercise. Like, don't kill yourself. Because I'm already seeing people saying they're crying over their manuscripts and stuff. Like, don't do that. You have time.
Yeah. It's just get the words down. Don't worry about whether or not they're good.
They won't be good.
This is advice from me because this is the advice I have trouble following. This is what slows me down.
Just barf out your words for 30 days and fix them later.
If they're not good, nobody's going to show up and heal your butthole closed.
God, you're just stuck on that idea.
Just a smooth surface where your butthole was.
You should write into Blizzard and be like, I have the best idea for a character.
Yeah, stop differentiating between healing and damaging.
Yeah.
It's all about selective healing.
What are you healing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a butthole?
I mean, it's the same thing like I always think with people who are superheroes who have shields. Open a shield inside someone. There you go.
Like in their butthole.
Like, get create. Oh, my God.
Hey, you said cleanse earlier. It made me think of buttholes again. This is your fault.
Okay. I do blame myself for so many things.
Awesome.
Can we talk about space?
Space?
Real quick before we're done?
You mean like the big outsidey part?
The big outsidey part.
Yeah, okay.
So there was a report released by NASA.
I'm not familiar.
This week. Big fan, personally. Big fan of NASA.
Greg NASA?
They completed a study on what brains do in space, which is pretty gosh darn cool. And it obviously is pretty hard to do this kind of study because not many people have been to space.
Are they building a bunch of Frankensteins?
I mean, probably, but that wasn't in this report. Just assume that NASA is doing sci-fi shit all the time.
Just Frankensteins and Draculas.
Zombies, space zombies, which are different than normal zombies.
Okay, so
you want to know about the space brains?
Yeah.
I see it in your eyes.
Well, my mind is whirling here, trying to come up with why they did this and what they found.
Well, I mean, why they did this is because astronauts come back from space and they need to know if space hurts them.
They come back changed.
They really do. That is what this study found.
Their loved ones find that their eyes are hollow and empty.
Well, it's funny you should say that because one of the issues they're having is the loss of sight. Not total loss of sight, but they are having trouble with vision loss on long-term missions.
A touch that was once loving is as cold as the void.
So what they found is that your brain actually shifts in your skull in zero-weight environments. And specifically, it moves forward and squishes your frontal lobe. and specifically the parts that have vision control. And they're only seeing it in long-term space adventures, but not short-term.
Food tastes like ash.
And this is actually great. I mean, this is why space travel is great, is that these studies, sure, help astronauts that are going out there and exploring amazing things, but it also helps us understand what parts of the brain are doing what. So, okay, we know that pressure on that part of the brain actually affects vision, and it affects vision in this very specific way.
And the part of your brain that understands cosmic horror grows exponentially.
Yes, that is also another issue that was mentioned in the study.
So, okay, so they figured this out through the study. Did they come up with any countermeasures?
I mean, they have had success. Because human anatomy does have some elasticity, including the brain.
Oh, yeah, it's barely even a thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
buttholes are there one minute,
oh my God.
They're closed up the next.
Are you done?
Yeah, continue.
So they have found ways to treat those issues, and some of the astronauts have found, their vision returning simply by being in normal gravity. Some balance issues getting better the longer that they're on Earth. So
I always wondered, I think of like the movie 2001, the whole idea of using centripetal force to simulate gravity. They've never actually pulled off anything like that, have they? I mean, I feel like I see...
Like an anti-gravity field?
No, I mean using a different force, like centripetal force, to simulate. Because I think of the shots I've seen of astronauts exercising, and it's, they're held onto the treadmill by suspenders.
You're thinking of The Martian. Is that what when the outside of the... Or Cowboy Bebop, actually.
Or the thing I said, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. But yeah, that's theory, and it's a really good theory, which is why it keeps popping up, but no,
They've
hasn't.
never done it.
They've never done it.
All right.
The problem is that we're talking, at some point, and this is the problem with most things for space travel, which isn't on Earth, it's all a math game. So the size, the sheer size that you're...
Those are the worst
working
games.
on to make that work, we don't have enough fuel to get that out of the atmosphere right now. So it comes down to just the numbers at some point.
Well, I hope in my lifetime I get to see a giant, crazy space station with a spinning drum in the middle.
I mean, that'd be pretty fantastic, yes. We can hope.
Well, cool. Space brain stuff.
Space brain stuff.
All right. Well, hey, I had another thing, but I'm going to save it till next time.
We're all waiting in suspense.
Like a cliffhanger.
It is a cliffhanger. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Thanks for everybody who liked us on Facebook and followed us on Twitter. If you haven't done those things, please do those things. Also, please leave us a review on iTunes. That's how people find us, and we want to talk at more ears.
Our dogs really like hugs, but we only hug them one time per positive iTunes review we get. Yep. So it's up to you whether or not our dogs are sad.
Or do you want to make our dogs sad?
Oh, I think they do.
Oh, they might. Monsters.
Our fate is in your hands.
Do you want to close on anything else about buttholes?
Just in conclusion, buttholes.